The girl who stole her own name back. The first time Nura Khan heard her own voice on the radio, she didn't recognize it. She was washing dishes in the back kitchen of a small cafe when the announcer said, "Up next, a powerful spoken word piece from a new anonymous voice calling herself the Night Sparrow." The cafe owner turned up the volume, and then her words filled the air. Raw, honest, fierce. Poetry she wrote at 2 a.m. under a blanket with her phone flashlight on. Poetry about fear, about girls taught to shrink, about being told good girls don't speak so loudly. Her knees went weak, because that poem was hers, but she had never sent it to any radio station. The sister who took the spotlight. Nura grew up in a house where silence was considered a virtue. Her older sister, Samira, was the opposite: bold, charming, confident. Teachers loved her, relatives praised her. She spoke first, laughed louder, walked into rooms like she belonged there. Nura admired her, until admiration slowly turned into something else. In high school, Nura started writing poetry in secret notebooks. She never shared them, except once. One night, she read a poem to Samira in their shared bedroom. Samira clapped and said, "You're actually good." Nura glowed for days. A month later, Samira performed at a school event and recited Nura's poem, word for word. When Nura confronted her, Samira shrugged. "You never would have shared it anyway. I just helped it be heard." And somehow everyone agreed. "She's your sister. It's still in the family. Don't be dramatic." So Nura learned something dangerous. Her voice could be taken, and no one would call it theft. Years of being the background. As adults, the pattern continued. Samira built a reputation as a rising spoken word artist. Her performances went viral. She got invited to events, panels, interviews. Behind the scenes, she still called Nura sometimes. "Hey, can you look at this poem? Just fix it a bit." Nura would rewrite entire pieces. Samira would say, "You're a lifesaver," and step onto stage alone. Nura worked quietly at the cafe, telling herself it didn't matter. But every time she saw applause meant for words she had bled onto paper, something inside her faded. That night in the cafe, hearing her poem on the radio under the name The Night Sparrow, her hands trembled. It wasn't Samira's voice. It was distorted, anonymous, but it was her poem, one she had written recently and never shown anyone. Someone had found her anonymous online writing account. Someone had submitted her work, and the radio station loved it. She rushed home and checked her secret poetry page. Hundreds of notifications, messages. "Your words saved me tonight. Please don't stop writing. You speak what we're scared to say." For the first time in her life, people were hearing her, not Samira, not through someone else. Her. Fear of being seen. The radio station sent a message asking for an interview. Anonymous was fine, they said, but they wanted more pieces. Her chest tightened. Being invisible was lonely, but being visible was terrifying, because visibility meant confrontation, and confrontation meant Samira. The confrontation she avoided for 20 years. It happened at a family dinner. Samira burst in excited. "Guess what? Some copycat is using poetry that sounds like mine on the radio. People keep tagging me." Nura's fork clinked against her plate. Her heart pounded so loudly she thought everyone could hear it. This was the moment. 20 years of swallowed words pressed against her ribs. "I wrote those poems," she said quietly. No one reacted. Samira smiled like she was humoring a child. "Sweetie, you journal. That's different." Something inside Nura, something small and scared, finally broke. "I wrote the ones you performed at school, the ones at university, the ones last year at the women's conference." Silence fell heavy across the table. Samira's smile faded. "Don't start this again," she snapped. But Nura didn't stop. Her voice shook. "But it didn't disappear." The truth goes public. That night, Nura did something she had never done before. She posted, not poetry, the truth. Side-by-side screenshots, draft dates, old notebooks, voice memos, proof. She didn't insult Samira. She didn't attack. She just told her story. "I stayed silent because I thought love meant shrinking, but my voice is not a family heirloom, it's mine." The post exploded. Writers shared it, artists shared it, women shared it. Stories poured into her inbox from people who had been overshadowed, silenced, dismissed. And for the first time, Nura realized this wasn't just about poetry, it was about permission. Losing a sister, finding herself. Samira called her screaming, "You're ruining my career." Nura's hands trembled, but she didn't apologize. "I'm saving my life." They didn't speak after that. The silence hurt, but it was cleaner than the old one. The stage with her name on it. Months later, Nura stood behind stage at a poetry festival. A banner read, "Nura Khan, the Night Sparrow." Her real name, her real voice, her real story. Her hands shook as she stepped on stage. The lights were bright, the crowd was quiet. She took a breath and spoke, not perfectly, not fearlessly, but freely. When the applause came, it wasn't just for the poem, it was for the woman who finally claimed it. What taking your name back means. After the show, a young girl approached her with teary eyes. "I write too," she whispered, "but I'm scared to share." Nura knelt to her level. "Your voice is not something you borrow, it's something you own." Because she had learned the hardest lesson of all. Sometimes the bravest thing you can steal back is yourself. And the girl who once whispered into notebooks became the woman whose words shook rooms.